we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. I thought I would give you guys a quick update on the stimulus situation. A lot of you are curious about the stimulus packages and stimulus checks that are coming out. So I thought I'd give you some updates and information on that. Hit the thumbs up button. Hit the hashtag B1. Type that in the chat if you're black first and you believe in being black more than anything else. And also, I want to say thank you to the people that support us in the Black Business School, theblackbusinessschool.com. That's sort of what helps us get everything done. So feel free to go check it out if you're trying to learn how to invest or whatever it is that you're trying to do with your life. We want to help you. We are a black-owned institution, and we believe that black-owned institutions should be the wave of the future. Now, with that said, let me hop into the stimulus package. I'm going to give you some quick updates real quick. Right now, it looks like they're probably going to pass something. I can't imagine them not passing something based on what I'm seeing. Based on what I'm seeing with the market, the updates on the corona situation, what's happening with unemployment, I would be stunned. I would be absolutely stunned if they did not, offer you guys some kind of, or all of us, everybody. I say you guys, but really I'm talking about everybody across the United States, some sort of relief, some sort of support. Business owners, if you own a business, there are PPP loans. I encourage you to talk to a financial professional or tax professional or somebody that can help you get those loans. They're giving it really good terms, very good interest rates, very, just really great loans to receive. And so in terms of the stimulus check, it's looking like the checks could be bigger this time around, perhaps, but and the Democrats and Republicans are not in agreement in terms of how much should be offered and what the amount should be. I think I saw Kamala Harris suggest $2,000 a month for the next 12 months, which I don't think that's going to pass, but I think that's what they do. They ask for more than what they think they're going to get so that they can negotiate somewhere in the middle. One of the interesting things in terms of hard deadlines is that they have to come up with something in August, before August. August 7th is kind of the hard deadline. That's the last date before they go on a really long recess in the Senate. And as you know, both the House and the Senate have to agree, or they both have to pass this resolution in order for it to go through. And so the biggest factors, when I listen to the experts and Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, and everybody else, basically I think they're kind of watching how the virus develops. They're looking at the situation with the virus to see how bad it gets. I think that's kind of a done deal. I think that the number of cases rising the way it has is causing them to be concerned because you're having some partial shutdowns again, at least with bars and some restaurants. I think what's going to be more interesting is the number of deaths that comes, which usually comes 2-3 weeks after the infections, right? So that part I think is going to justify, some sort of bill. What is also interesting is, I think they're going to look at economic data. They're going to just look at, the unemployment numbers and just kind of see how the economy is moving forward, because right now they're just mixed signals. For example, I've been begging you guys for many years to invest in the stock market. I mean, I've been begging you guys to invest in the stock market since Amazon stock was trading at $200 a share. Now Amazon's, $3,000 a share now. It just broke 3,000. Congratulations if you own Amazon, because that was one of the stocks I picked, but it's not like that made me a genius, because everybody saw what Amazon was doing and how great the management is and how well the company adjusts to the future. And so anyway, the stock market has just been superb. It's just like that. I mean, if you are an investor, it's I applaud and congratulate you because you're doing really well right now. But then there's also just sort of, getting the economy going, just kind of getting back to normal. So they're really talking a lot about a July decision. with the hope that they can have a payment by August. I see a question or two in there, but I don't have a lot of time, so I'm gonna have to focus and kind of give you the guys the information. So I see your question, Clinton. Join my class if you want to come to class. I have Q&As where I just answer 1,000,001 questions. My class is theblackstockmarketprogram.com. The first month costs $1, so it's better than anything you've ever taken in college. And I bet your university did not charge you $1 to learn from a PhD like me. So feel free to go to theblackstockmarketprogram.com, and I guarantee you're going to love it. If you don't love it, I'll give you $1 back. So the first month is $1, so go give it a try. theblackstockmarketprogram.com, and all I do is answer questions. So the other thing that's interesting is that they've talked about, the Republicans are really big on back to work incentives. They actually want people back to work, back on the job, because what happened the first time was that the unemployment got so good that, or the unemployment payment was so big that there were people who said, I'm doing better staying at home than I did when I went to work every day. And so that is another factor that they're kind of dealing with now. And I'm happy for it. I mean, if people can make the system work for them, I'm happy for them. But that's an issue with the economy. But what you're seeing, though, is this time around, business is not slowing down for the virus, and I really think that you're not going to see, you're not going to see the whole economy slow down. The number of cases, I just will tell you the truth. The number of cases could multiply by 10. Like literally, I think we've had, 2 million, 2.5 million cases or something, and 120,000 deaths. Those numbers could multiply by 10. So let's say they multiply by 10. So let's say you went to 25 million cases and 1.2 million deaths. Well, the reason I think the economy would still move forward is because 1.2 million deaths, as horrible as it is, as horrible as it sounds, is actually not even 1% of the population. 1% of the population is about 3 million people. So you're still talking about 1/3 of 1% of the population. So I think the reason a lot of people are kind of moving on as business as usual, because they're just sort of like, we don't know when this is going to end. We're getting mixed signals from the politicians. One minute you're telling us to stay in the house. The next minute you're telling us to go out and protest. But then you're telling us to come back in the house again. Well, so people aren't really taking it seriously. People are just living, and they're saying, okay, there's a 0.1% chance I might die today if I go out. But there's a 1 in 1,000 chance that might happen. I think I'll take my chances, right? So anyway, the other thing that's interesting is, so right now the Senate's on a recess till the 17th. The bill has to pass by August 7th. That is kind of the hard deadline. If it doesn't pass by August 7th, there's going to be a long recess after that, all the way out to August. I want to say the end of August or something is when they're going to come back. Based on how long it took them to get the money out last time, it would probably take about maybe 2.5 weeks, maybe about 19, 20 days for the money to get out. But I think it'll be faster because they have systems in place now to get the money out. Before they didn't have the systems and they had to put them in place. Now they're there. Now they can distribute the money faster. So I think that's going to work. I think that what it's all going to really come down to is whether we control the virus, which we won't. I don't think we're going to control infections. I think that we will control and manage deaths, because the death rate, as bad as it is it's just not big enough to dent a country of 330 million people. And also, I mean, think about it. There's I think in Chicago last week, the number of people that died from corona in the whole state of Illinois was not even as high as the number of people who died in Chicago from gun violence last weekend. I don't know if y'all know this. And now black people are 13% of the population. But literally, if you add up the number of black people who died from gun violence in Chicago last weekend, it was far higher. I mean, the number I saw was about double the total number of corona deaths for the entire state of Illinois. So, so that kind of leads you to say, okay, what's really the pandemic? Why are we not shutting down businesses, to stop gun violence, right? That would make sense, right? The neighborhoods where there's gun violence, why not shut every business down until you control the epidemic of gun violence, right? So anyway, the other things I've seen mentioned are payroll tax cuts so that you can keep more of your check. Travel credits to encourage people to go out and travel. They're trying to boost up the airline industry to keep jobs in that industry as well as keep investors happy. Airline stocks have been they've been really good to me in my portfolio. I believe eventually people will fly again. I know I'm flying now. I'm flying out to Seattle this week. I flew to Atlanta this week. I'm going to keep flying. I'm going back to my regular schedule. I'm not gonna sit in the house anymore. Let's see, a back to work incentive, and they've also talked about something different. Rather than sort of one payment one time, they've actually talked about extended payments over an extended period of time. So I'll keep you guys informed on what I see and what I'm thinking. And also, if you are looking for me to do other things, I see somebody mentioned, can you analyze companies, things like that. Well, if you want daily financial news and commentary, go subscribe to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. Every single day, we talk about financial stuff every single day. Today I did some stuff on Tesla and stuff like that. And if you want to go deeper into financial education, then go to theblackbusinessschool.com. THE, that's theblackbusinessschool.com. You can get started for $1. You can get started for free. It's better than a university because we have university level professors. And one thing that's interesting right now is that a lot of universities cannot bring their students back to campus. So they're learning online. And the difference between learning online from a big white university, being taught by people who don't even understand black people, versus the Black Business School, is that Harvard University is still charging $50,000 a year to learn from them online, whereas you can get started in the Black Business School for $1. So feel free to go to my stock market class. That's theblackstockmarketprogram.com. See, D. Lee says the stock class is awesome. It is awesome, actually. And again, if you have an issue, you can email us and we actually give you a full refund, because we want you to feel like you got 10 times more than what you invested to try it out. So give it a try. And also, the other thing that we do that's interesting in the Black Business School is very unique, is we educate your children. We believe your children should go to business school. In fact, I believe if I had it my way, if I were president of black people of the entire world for a year, one of the first things I'd implement that would actually flip black wealth on its head is I would require every child to go to financial camp. Like literally spend 2 or 3 weeks where all they do is they learn all the different ways that people make money, the ways that wealthy people move, things like that. So that would be before they go to football camp, before they go to baseball camp, basketball camp, cheerleading camp, any of those camps that we spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on, I would send them to money camp. Because what's the number one problem that so many black people have? It's money. They don't have enough money. You can't figure out money. Don't understand money. Don't know how to invest. I can show you how to invest in the stock market in about 10 minutes. Actually, you pull out $10 in 10 minutes, and I can get you started as an investor. I could change your whole life with in fact, make it $5 in 5 minutes. And I'm not joking. I'm literally not joking. In fact, you don't believe me? Go to if you haven't done it yet, go to firstshareofstock.com. That's firstshareofstock.com. There is a free training you can do right now. Won't cost you a penny. Within 10 minutes, your economic intelligence and your ability to invest in the stock market will grow tenfold. So go give it a try. Just give it a try. The Black Business School is great. We have 100,000 students. Sorry, make that 102,000, because we get probably about 3,000 a month or something. Because we're that good. We're literally the HBCU for the 20th century, because we know how to give you a better level of a black education for literally 1/100th of the cost, right? So I'm not telling you not to go to college. I'm not telling you not to send your kids to Howard and stuff like that. All I can say, if you're doing that, that's fine. But here's the problem. A lot of HBCUs and a lot of regular universities only teach you how to manage a business. They don't teach you actually how to build a business. They don't teach you how to own assets. They don't teach you the importance of real estate. They don't teach you the importance of investing and building wealth. I mean, think about it. It's kind of crazy that we have 100 times more bachelor's degrees in our community than we had 50 years ago, but we have far less land. We have more land, 15 times more land 100 years ago than we have right now. Well, that's because you're valuing the wrong stuff. You're valuing the wrong stuff. Your degrees have become your property. And unfortunately, a degree is an inflated commodity that doesn't have a whole lot of intrinsic value. It is a ticket. It's a ticket into someone else's economic system that gives you the ability to go work for them. It doesn't give you the ability to own anything. It just gives you the ability to go in there and get a job like the maid or the housekeeper, but sometimes maybe you're just paid a little bit more, right? So I encourage you to sort of rethink how you look at black education in general. Black education has to start from the root. So starting from the root means ownership. Well, that literally, ownership should be the number one word in your family. What do you own it? What do you own, though? Ladies, you meet a man who's acts like he's balling, he's got all this money and everything in a fancy car. Find out what he owns. What does he own? He might be driving a fancy car, but the bank might own that car. You know, he might live in a nice apartment, but if he's paying rent, that means he's flushing money down the toilet. No disrespect to those who are paying rent. I'm not saying that you're stupid for doing that. I'm just saying that that's your toilet money. That's your money you're flushing down the toilet. You're making your landlord rich with your rent payment. Like you're paying someone else's mortgage with that money. So the question is, what do you own, right? So maybe he can say, look, I own shares of stock. I'm acquiring stock every week. Or maybe he says, I have this business I built and it's generating revenue. That's my business. I own it based on a certain multiple. My business is worth, you know, a few $100,000 or $1 million or whatever, right? But you have to own something. If you own nothing, you're on real slippery territory, because a person who owns nothing can easily be just moved around. Like that's how they gentrified you. That's how they took your property in the hood. They gentrified you because you did not own that land. If you owned the land, it would have been a much harder process to get you off of that land, right? So what do I think about trade schools? I think trade schools are great. Anything can be great for you if you know one thing. Are you listening? Give me a yes in the chat if you're listening to it. I'm gonna give you, I promise you, I put on my great grandma Felicia. Our Panther, that's our logo for the Black Business School. It's Felicia the Panther. I named it Felicia after my grandmother Felicia, who introduced me to wealth and investing as a baby. You ready? I'm gonna give you one secret, the one thing that can take any passion that you have and guide you to becoming a millionaire off that passion. Learn how to start a business. That's it. Learn how to build a business model around what you do. If you like art, well, there's billions of dollars in the art industry. Find a way to get your piece. You like to sew? Well, there's money that can be made if you have a company that makes some product that's related to sewing. You sing, you dance, you play the piano, you like computers. Learn the business model of what it is that you do, you know, so that you can position yourself properly in that industry to allow yourself to acquire some sort of ownership or wealth off of that industry. You know, like for example, you look at what Tyler Perry does with Tyler Perry Studios. You know, Tyler Perry is in an industry where there are rich people and there are poor people. There are powerful people and there are powerless people. Tyler Perry, by owning his studio, owning the land that the studio's on, owning the intellectual property of every Madea movie that he makes, owning everything from the cameras to the golf carts that drive you around the campus, has positioned himself to be the power broker. He's positioned himself to take his passion to write and to act, right? And he's converted that into something that generates massive amounts of wealth for him. And there are other people who like to write, other people who like to act, other people who like to make films, who are not as financially fortunate as Tyler Perry. So what's the difference? It's about positioning. It's where you position yourself in the system. If you position yourself at the bottom of the system, then you're going to get whatever scraps the people at the top leave for you. But if you position yourself at the top, then you get to eat the big piece of chicken. You get to eat first. So just think of yourself as, you know, everybody's talking about getting a seat at the table, right? So we all fighting for a seat at the table. Well, first thing about it is if it's not your table, first of all, it should be your table. The best way to get the best seat at the table is to just own the damn table. If you own the table, you get to decide where everybody sits. That's great. But if you don't own the table, at least put yourself at the head of the table or get to the table first, so that you get to eat first and you get the most food, right? We go through that every day in our household. Alicia will cook a good meal, and me and the kids, I always position myself to be the first one there when she finishes cooking because the food's so good, and I want to get the good piece of chicken. I want to get the big piece of chicken. I want to get to pick the food that looks best before the kids get to the kitchen, right? And then they get mad because they don't get the big piece of chicken because I already grabbed it, right? So the same thing is true really in economics. You know, when you talk about that hustle mentality, you know, hustlers are people that don't just work hard, but they're also intellectual hustlers. They're the early birds that get the worm. And if you're the early bird, if you are the bird who thinks ahead, if you're the bird who strategically plans, then you're going to get the biggest worms, right? So at the end of the day, I'm telling you, if you teach this to your kids too, if you understand business models, you can become a millionaire at anything. A person with a business model mind can look at any situation. They can look at a baseball game and say, ooh, Look at how much money's being made by the popcorn guy. Ooh, that guy over there selling the slushies. Oh, he's making a grip. Ooh, I could probably hold baseball games and charge people $5 a piece to come into the game, right? And if you're not thinking that way, you're not going to see any of that. It'll be like learning. It'll be like the difference between knowing Chinese and speaking Spanish. Like somebody will be telling you all the secrets to the universe in Chinese, and all of it will go right over your head because you never took a Chinese class. So what I'm saying is, money is a language. Wealth is a language. Learn the language. Learn the language. That's how you become successful. So anyway, I'm going to go, guys. Have a good night. On Wednesday night, 8 p.m., we start our masterclass on stock option investing. If you're interested in learning how stock options can work to help you build your portfolio, build your wealth, and all these other things, feel free to join us. So you can go to drboycemasterclass.com. That's drboycemasterclass.com. And to learn how to buy your first share of stock, you can also go to firstshareofstock.com. I made it real easy for you. Grant Cardone says, when it comes to real estate, rent where you live and buy your investment property. Yeah, Grant Cardone is interested. He reached out to me. He wanted me to come on my YouTube channel, and I politely declined because I just really didn't know exactly what he and I would have to talk about. I think he disagreed with me on something. Something about him and Jay Morrison and Vlad or something. I don't know what it was, but I just didn't. I didn't feel. I really, when I talk about black first, I really am black first most of the time, and and a lot of times, people who are not black will come in and they really think they're doing you a favor by being willing to come into a black space. Like, look at me, I'm a special white guy, and I'm going to bless you with my presence. And my position is like, no, we've got plenty of great, brilliant black people who know real estate better than you do, or as well as you do. They know sales as well as you do. You're a brilliant man, but you go to your people, you go to your community. I'm about to take care of mine. So no disrespect to Grant Cardone at all. I just had no interest in having him on my YouTube channel. I don't care how many trillions of followers that he has. That just doesn't do much interest, or doesn't do much for me. Can you please put these sites on your page? I'll try. Y'all know me. I'm all over the place. Okay, so it's firstshareofstock.com, firstshareofstock.com if you want to learn about your first share of stock. And the masterclass is drboycemasterclass.com, drboycemasterclass.com. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a good night, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your own. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boy's TV. Here we are.